Hi, team. I'm Fitz Koehler, your host of the OC Marathon Show and one of your very noisy race announcers for the OC Marathon weekend. And this might be my favorite show that we've ever done because finally the other half of Team Noisy, Rudy Novotny, is going to join us. And he's such a fun guy. Don't tell him I told you that because he's got a really big ego sometimes. He's very hard to deal with. But I love him, and I know you love him too. And the cherry on top is we have our race director, Gary Kutscher, back. And he's so sweet. Gosh, we've got Noisy and Sweet joining us. And then you're stuck with me. A reminder that our race weekend is November 6th and 7th. November 6th at 4 p.m. We have the OC 5K, which is such a great family affair. So if you've been one of those families that are not doing Kids Run the OC this year because of all the COVID weirdness, bring your kids out. The whole family should be participating in the OC 5K. It's that good. We have so much fun, and we have a great band that it's just a big party, a fitness party, have you. And then Sunday morning, we have the OC Half Marathon, which as usual, will be epic fun. So register ASAP and ocmarathon.com right over there. I'm going to bring in the boys. Here they come in the blue corner. Sweetest race director on the planet. He is Gary Kutscher.
Well, good afternoon. Good evening, Fitz. How are you doing tonight?
It's good. It's like good midnight for me. It's so late here in Florida, Gary.
It's so late there. I can't even believe it. Yeah. I haven't even had dinner yet, and you're ready for bed.
I know. I just had my ice cream, Gary.
You have a very big week this week.
I do. On Monday, I am running a little race you might have heard of called the Boston Marathon.
Well, I saw Dave's post today. They found the start line, so you're good to go.
Okay. All right. So now there's apparently a bus that will take me there. Lots of excitement, but we're not here to talk about Boston, Gary.
That's right.
Marathon weekend thing happening. And then here he comes, the one with the big ego, other sweetest guy on earth. Here he is, Mr. Rudy Novotny. Hi, Rudy.
Yeah, it's me. It's all about me. Because back in the green room, I'm hearing you say, I've got a big ego.
Yeah, look at you. You have your microphone.
Yeah, not really. It's my flashlight, but I thought I'd use it for a prop. Hey, everybody. How are we all doing?
Well, hi, Rudy.
Hey, Gary. How are you?
Fantastic. Great to see you. I can't wait to see you at our 5K. I'll miss you on Sunday morning, but we get to have Team Noisy together at 4:30 in the afternoon on Saturday. So that's exciting.
We are going to have a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to it. Yes, it is difficult. This is the first OC weekend that I will be. Well, I guess I'm still there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not. Yeah. So I'm not really. So I still have a streak.
Yeah.
I have a streak.
You keep
every single one.
Every single one. The very first one, he was there and been there ever since. So it's pretty
exciting. Right. Don't forget that, Kohler.
So that's what I want to talk about is, well, we're going to talk about a lot of things today. And for those who are watching, they're thinking, where are they going with all this? Listen, I just said, fun people, let's have a conversation about the OC. So that's why Rudy and Gary are on tonight. So just fond memories, fun conversations with super fun people. So Gary, how did you choose him when you became race director of this event? How did you pick up Rudy?
Well, I actually didn't. I wasn't even on the board yet in 2004 on our very first one. I was very close to many of the people involved. And so it was the following year in 2005 when I became a board member of the OC Marathon. And Rudy was already entrenched. We had our first race in December 2004. And then our second one was January 2006. And I actually didn't become race director until 2009. So Rudy was already there. There may have been some changes had I got there a little bit earlier.
Okay. So Rudy, you're going to have to tell that.
See, he missed that. What I meant by that, if it was, there might have been some changes if I was there earlier.
Oh, of course there would have been.
I might have just called Fitz right off the bat and
That's what would happen. I'm
If,
sure.
if you'd been a better race director, I had a 25-year contract, and he didn't want to buy it out. So,
to our audience, if you would like to join this conversation, just use the comment section wherever you are. YouTube, Facebook, just say hi, ask questions, make your comments. We want to hear from you too. So, Rudy, how did you get involved with the OC Marathon?
How did I get involved? Well, I'd already been on the circuit for quite a while at that point, and I believe and Gary, please jump in and correct me because my memory's so bad.
No worries.
I think Kathy Kinane was like the hired chief of operations. She wasn't actually the race director per se, but she'd been given a lot of responsibility working with. Was it Bill Sumner, Gary, for year one?
Bill Sumner was on board, but there were quite a few different people who've gone on to have their own businesses and everything else, right, including Mike Bone and others who were part of that early year. And and Bill had brought a lot of those people on. But yeah, Kathy was certainly in helping out, and Bill, and so that's probably how you were contacted. And then our first race was really interesting. And so I'd like to open this up to other people who've had interesting. So we're going to talk about the OC, but see, I'd like to hear some really cool event stories from other places also.
Sure.
And let the runners know some other really cool stories. But going back to this one, so Rudy was selected by Kathy probably, but then that day, and Rudy could probably tell you, it was probably the most miserable day in Orange County history.
Wow.
It was probably mid 40s at the start, maybe upper 40s. It began to rain, and it was just an overall nasty, nasty day. We had issues. It was not a point to point, but the finish line wasn't that far from the start line. And so there were some buses, but it was a finish line area that was really not set up to have 5,000 people finish there. And it became really a pretty brutal finish line for so many people trying to get on buses, get out of there, hypothermia. It was a pretty nasty day. And so to even imagine we had repeat customers, it was amazing. And we did. And we still have 35 people who've done every single year. We were over 100 there for a while of runners who had done every single year. But maybe it's because Rudy was there and he talked to them on their way out and brought them in at the finish, even though it was miserable. So that was a very interesting first year.
That was, I think the operative word is brutal, and you described it perfectly, because I believe you're right on. I think it was mid to even early 40s, and the rain, it was just miserable. And if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't expected. That, it was kind of a freakish cool snap and storm, and I got so sick. I just remember I was sick for days after that. And just people coming in, as you said, the hypothermia was everywhere. But what I do remember, Gary, and it's just something about the running community, is no matter how difficult you make it for them, they're so resilient. And it became not only did they come back, but there were people who had, I survived. Yeah, I survived. It was insane.
That was 2004, December 2004. So
yeah.
Somebody had asked.
Yeah.
And then, so what did the race look like back then compared to now?
Well, back then we had a slogan. It was surf, sand, and sun, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. And the course, I can't listen. It was the first year of the event, and an event like that in a place like Newport Beach, it's really hard to come out of the gates and get the sexiest course possible. So it was the course that was workable at that time, but there was no surf scene. I mean, you didn't go anywhere near the beach. You didn't go anywhere near the sand, and you didn't see the sun. And so anyway, so that was, the course started at Fashion Island, not too far from where it starts right now, but it was in December, and the Fashion Island is an incredible shopping mecca, and that's Christmas season. And so the basic guideline was you get started, and then you immediately, within a mile and a half, you're outside of Newport Beach, and you're traveling the rest of the time in in Irvine at that time. And we finished the very first year. We finished, like I said, over there at the dunes back in what is Newport Beach, but it kind of worked on around the Back Bay. And then every year after that, until we changed the course in 2009, it finished at the Spectrum and spent all of its time in Irvine, some of its time on the toll road. There was a section out there on the course between about 15 and 21 that was generally uphill, very, very slight uphill. I remember I ran it in 2006, and all of my event photos, there's nothing out there. That was out there on the other side of the Great Park, and this is before Irvine had really grown like it has. And the Great Park now is just beautiful and has a lot of other things out there. That was just the air base back then, and there was nothing out there, and it was uphill, and it was just demoralizing. It was so hard for the runners. So
now it's all sexy. Now it's a sexy course.
Well, it's a lot better. We were blessed to be able to get the course that we have right now, going down PCH and into Corona del Mar. And
I think this is a whole new angle. I haven't heard this word used for a course before, but it's the SDCCU sexy.
There you go. That's what it is.
Throwing that out there. Rudy, we're going to have to work on our announcing wardrobe. All right.
We can do it. We can do it.
All right, I'll pick your outfit. You can pick mine.
Okay.
Oh, no. No.
So Gary, have there been like about 9 permutations of the course? 10?
There for a while. So I worked on the course. I remember in 2007 and 2008, I was drafting up courses. Myself and my partner in the business, Scott, at the time, we were going down and meeting with Laguna Beach City Council and people trying to think about a course that would go down PCH and come up Laguna Canyon. And we had a different course that wrapped the other way. I had I can't even tell you how many countless different versions of what would be a marathon course, but you still have to fit that half marathon in it. And we wanted both of them to get near the ocean or on the coast. So when I finally got the course that's not what we have now, but kind of close in 2009, literally every single foot of the course changed. We started in a different spot, and we never even hit any spot of what was the previous course. And then that course in small changes every single year for the next 5 years. Just enough that I had to recertify it every year, just enough that we had to make enough changes to the start line and finish line. And it was a challenging number of years until we finally honed in on this. So it's just one of those things. You finally get it. We used to go in on the Back Bay Road around Newport Back Bay, and in that area there it's the Newport Back Bay Ecological Reserve, and that road is used by I think a couple million people a year. But all of a sudden we were told we could not use it for the OC Marathon. We were able to get a waiver one year, and but there are a couple birds, the California least tern and the light-footed clapper rail. Both of these birds.
Boy.
And I had to actually even look at the because the light-footed clapper rail is a foraging bird, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
boy.
If someone's really into,
You know what? We
what's
should
that?
we should get a bird like that up at the finish line.
Yeah. Let me tell you what, you could get in trouble if you
Right.
if you just harass it. So anyway, so I had to look at the tide, see when high tide was. I mean, there was a lot of things that we had to look at. And so long story short, we were able to, we had to change the course from where it was to going up Dover and going behind Castaways, which takes all the runners up on top by that beautiful sculpture up there of the Marine and the flagpole up on the bluff up there. That was not part of the course until I believe 2013, 2012 or 2013. So it's just, it keeps morphing until you finally hit it.
Well, I think now, from the rumor has it, is it's pretty spectacular, but I can also brag about the finish line and the start line. I think the start line at Fashion Island, that's one of those pinch me places to be on a stage where the sun is coming up and your palm trees are different than Florida palm trees. They're so tall and skinny and very special. It's a beautiful start line. It's one of my favorites. Might be my favorite.
Yeah, we use those palm trees in our medals every year. It's iconic. So yes, absolutely.
For certain. So Rudy, how many years have you been doing this now at OC?
What is it? It's
well, this will be 17.
This will be 17. Yeah.
And
well, actually, you did our virtual expo and we were out there, so that one really doesn't count as far as being out there. But
so it's actually 16, right?
16,
I mean,
yeah,
16. Yeah.
And so what's been some of your favorite memories at OC?
Oh man, you're talking to somebody with no memory. Well, I don't know. What year was it? Was it your first or second year when we condominiumized the porta potties?
Oh yes, yeah. So I think that was 27. What year did we have hail, Gary? Was that 2017?
2017.
17. Yeah, that was pretty special.
Yes. So the full marathoners get off with no problem, and then what do we have? 15,000 half marathoners show up, and then all of a sudden,
just came down.
And it was cold, and it turned to hail, and we were under that. We had a tent, thank goodness. Usually we don't, but we had a tent to protect our gear. And the hail is coming, and we had people there trying to pop up the roof.
I was going to say the water's collecting on the roof.
Yeah, that, and then at some point I just kind of sarcastically, I was like, "Run for the porta potties! You can hide in the porta potties." And then they all did. We had thousands of people jammed into like 3-4 hiding in porta potties.
Right.
Very disgusting.
Did a plane go overhead?
Yes, I'm sorry I didn't hear you. There was a plane right overhead. We had the air show here this past weekend also. But that was just a
Fitz, you and I are announcing, and I remember just like maybe 8 minutes after you made that comment, we look over and all the porta potties, like there's 150 or whatever it is, porta potties, all the doors are open, and we see like 8 faces all stuffed in there, like it's a college prank or something.
Oh, so great! That's the power of the microphone. Is when you
yes, indeed, indeed.
I believe there's probably some sort of weird OC Marathon porta potty baby that was born 9 months later. That was
yeah, porta potty baby. Oh, and that we've had Team Jake out there for many, many years, and that's real special. There's a lot of small but important stories. Family participation, and it just OC is just and the thing about it I love so much is each facet of it. Like we've already hit, the finish line is fantastic. The start line is fantastic. The expo has morphed year to year to year to be just better than the year before that. Great vendors and of course the entertainment. Yeah, that stage is you could have the Stones on that stage. That's a real stage. So, but we got better though. We got better than the stones. Who wants the stones?
So one of the things I love, and I don't love bib bandits, as you know, and I particularly do not feel fondly about people that penetrate our finish line chute. I think that's rude. I think it's very disrespectful to grab anybody who hasn't completed the race, gone the distance to cross the finish line. That means your baby, your grandma, your boyfriend. Nobody should be on that chute except for our athletes. And for two reasons. They should do their job spectating, but if you're coming across your finish line to celebrate and they're going to take your picture and it's maybe your first race, your last race, whatever, but you want a great picture, and then there's some baby being dragged by the arm or some granddad with his sandals, it's just not fair to the other people on the course. So as you know, we are very particular about protecting our course and our athletes. And so there's those folks, and then there's the bib bandits, the one that are running, that did not register, that do not have a bib. And so I'm usually to call out people with babies and grandpas, but Rudy loses it when he sees someone that ran, that did not run, that didn't register, quick to get it. And so what I notice is not only that, I'll point him out, and Rudy goes down, climbs down off the tower and goes to run, make sure they're not getting a medal and they're not getting a snack. But then Rudy turns into a bandit-seeking missile. He assumes this position, which I have to demonstrate. It's a nice posture. He leans forward, fingers, and he arches them back, and he storms off that way. It's like, meow, until he gets to the person, and then he scares them with his pointing finger and angry face. So awesome.
And then they go into their pocket and get their bib. That's all. Oh, I just came down because I wanted to personally congratulate you. Great job you did.
No, you can. 99% of the people.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So if you're listening and you're thinking about running the OC half marathon this coming season unregistered, just because, you want to pace a friend, just because, don't do it.
Don't do it.
I won't be there. I'll find you.
That's right.
Fitz Koehler will be there. You will be gator bit.
That's right. I will take care of it. So I'm going to go back to 2014, where not only was it my first time at OC, but this was the very first race I ever announced. And so, Rudy Patootie, tell us about what made you even think, let's invite Fitz Koehler to announce this race with me.
Well, I was busy. I was busy on your side of the marble over there in Disney, and working the Disney events, having a great time at Disney World. And at the time I was at Disneyland at the time as well. But we met at Disney World, and I saw you were presenting at Disney World, and I just saw all the ingredients that I felt were necessary for a real quality announcer. Aside from the fact that you were drop dead adorable, and I just wanted to meet you anyway. And no, you were totally impressive. You were really, really impressive. And I mean, and that's totally true. And at the time, to be totally fair, we had a shortage of race announcers. There just weren't a lot of people around, a lot of real good quality people around doing races. And I saw all the key ingredients, and then you and I I think I called the next week after I got back from but yeah, I think I called the next week, and I talked to Gary, and I asked you, I said, hey, I got an event coming up and I need some help. What do you think? Is this something you might be interested in? I know that you do presentations. I know you haven't done race announcing, but does it sound like something that you'd be interested in?
And so
you.
And it was. I've never done this before, but I gave it a try. And then I had to call you, Gary. And what made you give me a chance, since I'd never done it before and you had such a big event?
Rudy said he wouldn't work with me if I didn't say yes.
Yeah.
No, I think it was, we have a different start and finish line, and I thought it would be a great addition to have another voice there to help out as we're transitioning from the start to the finish. And it's the energy that two people can have, and you guys absolutely do. As many times I listen to you both, it's so fun to just hear the connection that happens when you guys are both on mic and people are coming in, and it's really, really kind of magic. And so I love that. I kind of felt that that's possible, that it would happen, and it did. And so it was an easy decision for me.
Well, I was super grateful for it. I was so excited, but it's interesting. I've never, I've worked on so many large stages throughout my career, teaching fitness and speaking, and I've never had an ounce of, I hate to use the word fear, but I guess I've never had an ounce of fear. I just love what I do, and I always feel comfortable with what I do. But we did the kids' races on Saturday, and that went really well. And then on Sunday morning, the game plan was for Rudy and I to work together to start off the full. He yelled go for the full, and then we worked together a little bit till we, I think, released the first two corrals.
Yeah, first couple.
There was maybe 10 left. And then, Gary, you're like, okay, let's go, Rudy. And so y'all were going to leave me alone on the stage. And it was the first time in my entire life where I turned around, there were 10,000 people. And I think I gave Rudy one of those, don't go. Be fine. And thankfully I was. But yeah, it was my only moment I ever froze professionally. It was pretty fun.
And you know what? I've just got to clean that up a little bit. That was a moment in history, and particularly your announcing history, that was so much fun, because I think you hit it right. We got the marathoners going. I think it was two of I don't know, 12 or more.
Oh yeah.
Half marathon. I mean, is that about right, Gary? We had
12,000 half marathon that year.
Woo, huge. And and we got the first two going. Then Gary comes over to get me, and I just remember just kind of looking at him and going, all right, have a great time, have fun, and just be you. And there was just probably wasn't more than a second, maybe two, and the eyes got a little big, and the big smile came up, and you just went, Gary. Of course, you did an amazing job, and Gary and I hustled to the finish line, and the rest is history. We haven't even thought about doing it without you.
Wow, thank goodness. But thank you both, because as you know, I love this race announcing thing so very much, and it's brought so many wonderful people into my life and experiences, and it's just been so fantastic. So I owe you both. And
well, let me ask you both a question. You guys do races all over the place. I have a list of interesting, fun things that have happened at the OC. I'd love to know, and I bet people out there, instead of just listening to us tell our stories, but what are some of the other crazy things that you've seen out there, or something that just people go, really? What's happened, Fitz, on some of the races that you've done, or you, Rudy?
It's funny, people ask, I'm like, Rudy, come on.
But are you talking OC, or are you talking races?
No, anywhere. You've done races all around the country.
I got one, a really good one. So,
okay.
You know how we have these costumed runners, right? People who dress up in, sparkly skirts and stuff, which is super great. But then we have people that take it the next step, and they dress up as like mascots.
Mm-hmm.
When I was announcing St. Pete Run Fest about 2 years ago, we had this guy come out in a full-blown fuzzy lion costume. Head to toe, lion head, fuzzy arms, fuzzy legs, tail, the whole thing. And this dude lines up. First, he comes to say hi. He doesn't see any words, so I don't know if it's a man or a woman in the costume. He's just the lion. And he comes over to take a photo at the start line. And I'm giving everybody the race courtesy. You should line up fastest first, walkers in the rear, just so, when I yell go, the flow moves comfortably. And this lion is lined up in front. And I'm thinking, what a jerk. Like, go to the back, lion. You're not going to be the fastest one, whatever. But, and I'm not really that judgmental, but I kind of thought, like, move it back. You don't belong up here. Anyways, they take off. And it's a half marathon in Florida. So winner come through, number 2, number 3. The number 5 finisher was the lion. And so I see this lion tear around the corner, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I can't believe the lion's actually running. It's a lion. And then I think, okay, well, at least I'll get to know, is it a woman? Is it a man? And I look at the computer and it tells me it is Master Lion from Sydney, Australia.
That's the name, Master Lion.
Number 5, Master Lion. Incredible. And this is what this guy does. He travels around and he runs as a lion. Nobody knows who he really is, but
that's a great story.
And his time, as you said, he was right up in the front runners. His time was incredible, and he's consistent like that. He wears that costume. It's amazing.
Well, that reminds me of a story real fast that it's my wife's story, but she's not here, so I'll tell it. But she was doing the Beta Breakers, so it's not a marathon, but the Beta Breakers up in San Francisco. Crazy race. There's a lot of stories up there. And she's running it one year, and she's catching up to this guy wearing jean shorts, and jorts. Okay, jorts. I've never heard that. With the Florida thing. Anyway, so she's catching up to this guy who's wearing these jorts, jean shorts. And as she gets closer, she says she thinks those jeans are jiggling a lot. And as she starts to come around him, she sees a lot more just jiggling, and she realizes those are painted on pants. And this guy is naked with painted on jeans running the Beta Breakers.
That's the Beta Breakers.
Why am I not announcing this race? That sounds very, very fun.
Oh, it's such a small event. What is it, Gary? It's had 6 figures several times, hasn't it?
I think when I used to do it was 60, 70,000 people. And probably 30 or 40 actually paid.
Right.
And the rest are Rudy's favorite kind of people.
Right.
The bandits. No joke. And what a crazy fun race that is. And they have groups of guys who will actually run with a bar. It's a bar, and they're running, and from the bar, you're giving drinks out of it, and they're all running a fairly quick pace. These are runners. So it's a fun race.
That's amazing. So here's a sidebar. This is just Team Noisy Nonsense. Is Rudy, I'm going to tell the Spiritos story. Feel free to jump in.
Oh, go ahead.
So we leave. I don't know. It might be your race. It's LA, some California race, and it's exhausting. I mean, we have so much fun. And I honestly can tell you, I never want the day to end. I'm actually quite sad when the final finisher comes through. However, we put out a lot of energy, and it kind of breaks us down mentally. We get a little fatigued. So we leave and we go to this local pizza place in Carlsbad, where Rudy lives. And we're just going to go have a slice or whatever. So we get in there, we're sitting tired, and we stuff our faces. And we eat lots and lots of food. And I feel like I need to be pushed out of there in a wheelbarrow. And again, it's tired. It's late. We're tired. And so we go out, and at that time, he was driving this nerdy blue Prius.
Oh, come on.
It's smug. Anywho, this little blue Prius, which you see all over California. And I said, I need to use the restroom, and he was going to go in the car and wait for me. So I go use the restroom. I come out, I see the Prius, and I go into the side. I open the door, and all of a sudden I look, and he's got this bowl of noodles from the Asian place next door. And I was thinking, oh my God, he's eating again? How is he eating again? This is the only thing I'm laser focused on. So I see this noodle and I'm appalled. And I sit down in the chair, and then I look up. It's not Rudy. It was some other guy, and I just plopped down in his car. And so instead of apologizing properly, instead I burst out screaming, laughing in this guy's face. I just let him have it. And he's just standing there sitting there with the noodles and the fork in his mouth. And after screaming at him, laughing for a while, I leap out and I go run into Rudy's car, who's over there dying laughing.
And I think the best part about this is I'm seeing exactly what's happening. I see her leave the restaurant, get into this other car, and I see this head go over like this, and it's like, what's happening? Is it something I said? Is she getting another ride? And then she gets into my car and sits down, and I think we laughed. It was one of those, we couldn't stop laughing. We almost got sick. We were laughing so hard for like 15, 20 minutes. I couldn't even drive the car. Oh, it was just, oh boy.
Can you imagine being that man?
I'm sorry?
Can you imagine being that man?
Oh, yeah, he thought he hit the lottery.
I was going to say, yeah, he could do worse. So he's telling that story totally different. He's like, I remember the time that this hot blonde jumped in my car.
Exactly. Okay, and then of course, these just little bits and pieces. So there are Fitz and I at the finish line of the Los Angeles Marathon, and we're bringing in a lot of chairs, bringing a lot of chair athletes, lots and lots of chair athletes. It's amazing, and Fitz, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that year we had spectators all the way to essentially to the finish line, to where we were.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No? Okay, we didn't. We had it a couple years, and now with security and everything. Anyway, so we're getting all prepped up for the winter. We're keeping our eyes open. We're listening to the reports. It's going to be coming soon. So watching the helicopter's getting close, up, coming down the street, and then here he comes. Fitz, I want you to go ahead and take this one. Go ahead and bring him in. And of course, we're playing music. Fitz has got she got fantastic playlist. And as he approaches, and he's all by himself, Kenyan, Ethiopian, whatever, what comes on but Aerosmith's Dude Looks Like a Lady.
I was like, no.
And so both of us are like, no.
Trying desperately to change the tune, and it's
That
also
is
televised
funny.
on KTLA or whatever. Oh my gosh, panic.
Yeah, I was worried it was going to go from like Dude Looks Like a Lady to Girls Just Want to Have Fun or something like that. But it was like, and you could pick the worst song at the time to have playing, and it just blasted out. And Fitz was really quick. She knows her playlist and brought something else on. Oh man, I was just like, no.
Yeah, on occasion. So, for example, in Fargo last week, there was a person came through wearing what looked with long hair and a singlet, and the name was kind of like Fitz. What is a Fitz? Is that a girl? Is it a guy? Who the heck knows, right? So I said, the beautiful Miss XYZ, and it was a guy. It was a guy, just this dreads. I mean, I just blew it. I blew it so bad, and I ate my words. And what do? You just move on with it. There's thousands of people coming through. These names you recognize, and you're doing your best to pour love on every person. You're bound to get it wrong, and we certainly do get it wrong sometimes.
Well, and of course, I have the record for that in Big Sur.
Yeah, I don't think you should go into that one, but yeah, or you can.
No, we've already covered that one. But I've probably every race announcer anywhere around beat on blowing a call. But you make mistakes, as you said.
You can't leave me hanging here. Come on, let me know about this one.
Fitz and I are calling the Big Sur International Marathon just a wonderful, wonderful event. We've got the men's winners are in. We're probably 15, 20 deep in the men's race, and we start getting, looking at the time, we're looking for our women's winner. Women's winner's got to be coming in. Unfortunately, the way the course is and everything, it's hard to get intel to pipe back to you, on walkie-talkies and stuff. So, but I've got binoculars and I'm looking down the street and everything, and it's like, here she comes. Here she comes. I see a pink top, long ponytail, cruising through, lean, looking good. And then I got on the mic, ladies and gentlemen, here comes your women's winner. Let's bring it on. athlete comes through, and as she came through, it threw out a male name. And I went into bib bandit mode immediately, left Fitz, and I just kind of dropped the announcement essentially, and went down and just got right in the face of this person and said, "Why do you have a man's bib on? You are disqualified." That's literally what I said. Why do you have a man's bib on? Disqualified. And this, the look of bewilderment on this man's face is he essentially said, "Huh? I'm a man. I'm a guy. I'm a dude." And it was like, oh no. And so, and long story short, I apologized once and again and again and again. He actually was top 3 in his age group. So of course I have to do the awards, so I get to see him again. And I apologize again. And he's actually become a friend. He's a wonderful human being. He's a doctor of ophthalmology. He's a specialist, and he actually does a lot of charity work. I believe he's in OC or maybe LA area, Dr. Lau, and he's just a wonderful human being. I've since seen him at many races. It's it's like a joke between the two of us now. But
Well, I had something I'm never announcing, but one race, a few races back, I got a phone call. I mean, a call on the radio, and it's when you're race directing, also the day's kind of a blur. You've got all kinds of things going on. You're listening to all kinds of other chatter and stuff. And Lisa calls me on the radio and says, "Gary, we have Bo Bridges and his wife are here. His son's running the race, would like to get into the area by the VIP. Is that possible?" And I said, "Well, sure." So I went over and met Mr. Bridges and his wife, but unfortunately, in my mind, I heard something else as far as his first name, even though I know who Bo Bridges is, and his son Dylan and his wife runs the race almost every year, and they're just great. I've got to know them, and they're just wonderful people. Anyway, and I even had to tell Dylan that I called his dad the wrong name. Anyway, so all of a sudden, I have some other name. I don't even remember what it was. It could have been Bob, Bruce. Well, I don't even know. But for the rest of the day, I'm going up to this star and calling him by the wrong name. And never once did he say, "Dude, you're wrong." He just graciously, like, "Hey, Bob, you okay with right here? You like this? Are you waiting to see, And never once did he, call me out and say, "That's the wrong name." But I've been embarrassed about that ever since.
Yeah, we actually, and I'm sure you get the same thing, is we see so many people, and there's these people we actually recognize. We can place what race we met them and how they did or whatever, but putting names and faces sometimes is really a painful thing, because it's us versus 15,000.
Yeah.
And, I can pick someone out of the crowd at the start and find them at the finish and feel like we actually had a personal connection, but it's remembering those names are a big challenge. So actually I had it was legit, but with chemo, I just decided chemo brain. I finally put out a message one day and said, "Please, runners, when you come to see me, just say, 'Hi, I'm Susie.' And even if we're best friends from long ago, just put it out there, because it's so hard."
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know, I think, Fitz, it's happened to you, and I know I've talked to other announcers, and they've at least affirmed that it's not just me. It's kind of information overload. It's sensory overload. And we can see somebody, I guess I should speak for myself. I can see somebody that I've known for 10, 15, 20 years at the finish line. I don't need the computer. I don't need the name, because of course I know that person. I've seen them forever. Good old, great job. I know I'm getting old, but that's not even the factor. It's just all of a sudden there's just too much going on.
Yeah, it's very hard. And the other thing is, if somebody puts on a hat, I don't know who they are at all. I mean, my mom, if she walked into my house wearing a hat, that's it. I have no idea. Who are you? You sat there in that chair when you, who is that guy? But yeah, it's very easy to lose people. And we try really hard, especially for our personal friends. And I say personal friends, sometimes our personal friends are just someone we met online, 3 months ago we're trying to get, but it's really hard to catch people, especially at a race the magnitude of OC where you give us thousands. But here's a good thing we do is sometimes we get the names right. And so lots of people, they think we've just remembered the yearbook in advance and we're calling out names and we know everybody. But technology allows us to have names. So you have a chip on the back of your bib, and about maybe 20 feet before the finish line, you run over a mat that's there specifically for Team Noisy. So we get your name on a computer, and then we can say it, and we can give you a warm welcome as you cross the finish line. And so you should see the names that pop up on our list. They're not all John Jones. We get sometimes like 40 consonants in a row, and we do our best. It's really important to say people's names right and respectfully. But sometimes not only are people surprised that we said their name, but when we get one of the really complicated names right, you can see the look on their face. They're like, oh, you got it right. And from there to they're on the ground and we're in the tower. And it's like this moral victory for everybody that we said their Norwegian name properly. It's so great. One of the highlights of the day.
I got to tell you, I've been around Rudy a lot. And that chip thing, I mean, them running over that mat out there, the distance out there, there's nothing that makes Rudy more angry than when that's not working. I'm telling you, when that's not working, it's all he can do to come up with a smile. I'm good.
Yeah, I remember one particular year I got mega cranky. Yeah, way more than I should have. But hey, it's scientifically proven that the sweetest sound to anybody is their name, is to hear their name. And we, and we get amazing feedback, in our races where people just love hearing the shout outs and stuff like that. So, but you're right, Gary, you're right. You've been around me a lot, and that's not good when that's not happening.
So 2 things is I love when we're together and that happens, because I know you're going to take care of it and I don't have to go fight that battle. But on an occasion, as I bounce around the country announcing some races, sometimes the timing guy, he doesn't take what we do seriously. So I'll say, I didn't, I'm not getting names. We'll get it after the race. No, they spent a lot of money flying me in here and paying me so I can say people's names. I need you to fix this now. And it's sometimes there's a little disconnect between what everybody's jobs are. And I say, listen, all I need is quality sound and names. That's it. Timing. So do your job. But it's much easier when I have Rudy next to me to go fight that battle. And they get really cranky when it's the little blonde chick in their face. Like, fix it now.
Yeah. Hey, Fitz has gotten her own reputation in the timing world for not accepting any nonsense. They are fearful. They are fearful of the blue-eyed blonde.
I don't know this story at all.
One of the other great things is, so, not only do we have runners from every state, but we have a lot of international runners. And when they register, quite often they'll put their state, and the state could be a state in Canada or in Australia. And so our favorite timers, SVE timing. And I love SVE because they never get it wrong. They always give us names. They do it top bang up job every time, but they'll put in 73 states. And so we'll get a list that says 27 countries and 73 states are represented. And so wow, SVE, there's 73 states here. And so he gets very mad. He's like, don't pick on me. They're from out of the country.
Hey, Gary, you got a list. How about rolling out a couple of your pieces from OC history?
You said it was a zombie of some sort.
Okay, I'll bring up the zombie story. So this is very interesting, and I'm not really sure I have a resolution to this. It could still be ongoing. But we start putting out cones and stuff early. I mean, it's 3:00 in the morning. It's really dark. It's, if there's a spooky time, it's a spooky time. And we have this one section that a couple of our guys, three at least now who've seen him, are at this one spot, and they're not always there at the same time. It might be 2:40, it might be 3:30 the next year. And after the first couple of years of seeing what he's become known as, the Walking Dead zombie guy, this guy is, I don't want to say if he's actually just one of our good runners or not, but anyway, a couple of years in a row, they saw this guy at this one location on the back half of the course. And they thought, man, that's a weird looking, just he's kind of shuffling along, kind of wearing like a ghost zombie type of look. And after a couple of years, the next year they started looking for him. And lo and behold, there he was again. And then one year they were getting cones, and all of a sudden he started running towards the truck, and they're like, oh my gosh, we gotta go. And I actually was sent video today, which is actually even more interesting. And so a couple of years ago, they went past this one area, and they're like, wow, we didn't see him. I think it's 2019. Wow, we didn't see him. That's kind of strange. We didn't see the zombie guy. But then they're like, oh, we forgot to move that one cone. They did a U-turn, and right as they did the U-turn, the zombie guy was right in front of them. And they're like, we gotta go. Lock the doors. No joke. And these are men who wouldn't be concerned with doing this stuff, but zombie guys got them freaked out a little bit.
Zombie guy. This is very exciting.
It really is.
So now Fitz is going to want to go out with the team to see your zombie Yeti, whatever he is. How many years has it been that they've seen him?
I know I'll have to do it's been a number of years, because it didn't even become a thing until it was a few years. And then,
right.
And then they've had a couple weird things where they actually really got scared. Like in a text I got today, one of the guys said, we didn't even want to film him until we got past him. So it's pretty funny.
This is very exciting. We don't have any zombies at the start or finish, do we?
I was going to say, that's only at the OC do we have zombie guy.
We have the zombie guy, the Walking Dead zombie guy.
No, register today.
Do you guys remember today? Do you guys remember? Oh, there he is, Sam Frausto. He at least 4 years now. So
wow.
Pretty interesting. And Sam's not somebody that gets scared of anybody. And when the Walking Dead zombie guy comes at you, I think it's kind of takes you in another spot.
So now that we've talked about zombie guy publicly, I think that someone needs to actually meet the zombie guy and make him kind of a thing on the course. Like, you could run by zombie guy, you got high five.
Well, he may not appreciate that he's the zombie guy. I don't know.
No, I think some people kind of put it out there. If that's the vibe you're giving, you got to own it.
All right. Well, we'll see what we can do. Sam will have to get you out there and find him. This year we're only doing the half. So we were already thinking, well, gosh, we're not going to see the zombie guy unless he knows we're not doing the half, and he's going to appear someplace else. So it's pretty funny.
This is very exciting. I think you could really actually bring in extra runners, people that are ghost hunters type thing, the haunted OC marathon type thing. It's just,
I like that. We may have to do that.
Just ideas. I'm always good with ideas, right? Haunted OC.
You've got some good with this year. So I have another story that happened a couple of years ago that could have turned out much worse. We set up, one of the things that is important to me is that I want the finish line at the fair set up before people start coming to the expo, so that when they come across the little area where the finish line is, I want them to see that. I want to see the signs and to go take a picture there. It's really important to me that they can see where they're going to make their finish. So we set it up. We start setting it up maybe even on Thursday, but certainly by Friday midday, it's completely all the banners are on it and everything. And Friday night, I don't know, 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, all of a sudden we get a call across the radio. There's been a truck has gone through the finish line. So we go over there, and this is a vendor's truck, a large truck, has going 40 mile an hour through our finish line, and it's too tall, and it literally destroys the finish line scaffold. And I mean, it's a pretty finish line.
Yeah.
And this thing is now a crinkled mess on the ground. What I just found today when we were talking about these stories was it was a cage that the pickup truck had, and in that cage was filled with propane tanks. And I can only imagine if that would have been a crater that unbelievable. And so we had to tear everything apart, find out what banners were destroyed, try to figure out what to do to, in fact, you could probably see it. We had to find an old banner to replace one of the wraps on one of the 3x3 edges. And it's, by the next morning, no one knew anything was wrong, but it was very eventful.
So you race directors are very much MacGyvers. You can just fix anything with some zip ties, and you got a solution for everything.
Zip ties.
Fix anything with zip ties. Zip ties and duct tape.
I'm telling you, zip ties are amazing. You can do all kinds of stuff with that.
Yeah, we're less handy.
But yeah, so that was a very interesting story. And I have one more real quick story. Jody, who you know very well, Jody's got a couple of my stories, but one year Jody was so pregnant that she was working the entire event. Do you remember this, Rudy?
Yeah.
She's a trooper. She's working the entire event, and I mean pregnant.
She was pregnant. Due. She was like due.
She was due. She had her baby on Tuesday morning, 2 days after the race. And she was moving things around, doing everything that, your best ops team, things they have to deal with every single year. And we would say, Jody, just sit down. So she did that. But one year she's out on the course driving, and she likes to see make sure that things are set up the right way. And all of a sudden, one of our chair athletes is coming up behind her. And so we don't have bicycles, lead bikes. We have them in front of our lead runners and everything else, but we don't always have enough for our chair athletes. So Jody volunteered to lead this lead wheelchair athlete through the back half of the course. And so they get all the way out to about mile 17. And then she hears on the radio, I think it was on the radio, that he was supposed to be a half marathon chair athlete, not a full marathon. And so this poor guy was supposed to make the turn to finish the half marathon. And she has it all the way out at mile 17. And he has to finish the marathon. And and he did, and everything was great. But it was just kind of one of those funny race day events that you just don't know how to handle when it happens.
Whoops. You know what? We call that human error.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting how many people expect perfection across the board, and we like perfection, but just as sometimes names break our mouths and we don't get them right, sometimes humans screw up a little bit sometimes, right?
Yeah. Rudy, have you ever screwed up, other than the Big Sur name thing, have you ever had any issues that you go, man, oh man?
Oh yeah. So I'm announcing Race for the Cure, Orange County, which is huge. And Kathy Kinane was the race director, and I'm going through all my announcements, and I just grabbed the mic and belt out and hey, let's hear it for our race director, Kathy Kinane. I started saying Kathy Loper, San Diego race director that I've done a lot of work with. She's been a legend in race directing and everything. I was like, oh no. Okay. So I'm at something like all in. I think I'm approaching 1,600 events, all in since day one. You mess up. You make mistakes.
Yeah.
You make mistakes. Yeah. That's the one you want back, though. Give me. Oh.
So I was accused of wrongdoing once, which wasn't the case. I'll tell that story another time. But some of my weirdest, well, I had a good year or so of super weird. I mean, poor Gary, I remember calling you and saying, could you help me get IV fluids? Is that possibly one of the strangest things you've ever
That
been?
That was an interesting request at race weekend. I need to have some IV fluids put in me right now. Okay, let me see who I could call.
And you came through.
Gary always comes through. There's no request,
And then
Gary.
I know we're coming up on our hour here, but I love this story when all of a sudden you didn't have a national anthem on the recording or something. Can you let us know what you did?
Yeah, I was just going to say, so I was at Buffalo Marathon and on my bald glory, not my cutest by any means, but it was the Ruffalo Stampede, our dog race. And we'd had the 5K and the kids races and blah, blah, blah. And then we just didn't have a live singer for the dog race, which is fair enough. And the 17 was set up. There was no tent because it was kind of a temporary location, but they were set up, and I had Leanne Rhymes to sing the anthem on my iPad, which had been sitting on the desk with the sound guy. And so it would play basic music. And at some time I say, okay, guys, this time, if you can stand, please do. If you're wearing a hat, please remove it as we honor our country, blah, 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 for the national anthem. So I play, and there's about 200 dogs, which gives us about 400 humans. And standing in front of everybody, I announce the anthem, put the mic down, and click play. And Leanne says, oh, say, can you see? And then nothing. It dies. And I look over, and my iPad is saying, like, it's overheated, cool me off type thing. So I know the music is dead. And then I'm stuck because I love the country so much, and I was not going to let the anthem die there on that street. So I did it. And I have the worst singing voice in the history of voices. It's just, it's history. It's a fact. And so I picked the microphone up to my mouth. I was like, oh no, by the dawns. I start singing, but I geniusly did this motion right here. And thankfully, everybody started singing with me, and I was able to finally put everybody out of their misery and remove the mic from my mouth. But yeah, it was god awful for about 20 seconds of my voice singing the anthem, and the head and the whole thing was a debacle. And then the people were singing, which was beautiful, but then the dogs started howling. It was
when the dogs started howling. Everybody was really kind, but the damn dogs.
Oh God, it was so bad. It was so bad. And that was justified. But Rudy sings the anthem here and there, and he actually does it justice. He does quite a nice job.
I do okay. But don't, in case there's any race directors listening, don't even think about it. I'm going with Whitney and Leanne.
Oh, I think you like it.
No, I don't like it. I love the anthem, and I respect it more than to use my voice routinely on such an important piece of our history and our lives.
Yeah, I'm still apologizing to the
Me too.
I think that's great. It's a great story, Fitz.
So we have gone over an hour, and we haven't given away any prizes, and we do promise giveaways, Gary. So what you got?
Well, let's go ahead and we have the Run for a Clause coming up on December 11th. We can certainly give away a couple of Run for a Clause, and we're open for 2022. So let's give away one of those as well. So so we can get, I don't know, some simple type of question or whatever you want to do, Fitz. I don't have anything teed up on that, but we can give away some giveaways. I mean, some registrations.
We didn't pick any trivia questions, did we?
We didn't do trivia questions, but the first 5K for Run for a Clause is the first person that tells us what their favorite story was from today.
Oh, that's right. That's a great one.
So the first person just puts something up there that they liked today.
We gotta hope we get something.
Yeah, we should get something there. There you go. Rough.
That wasn't it yet. That wasn't it. That was there before. Oh, all right. BJ Doll.
There
Zombie.
you go. BJ Doll, zombie. So that'll be a run for a clause. Just email us at info@OC Marathon tomorrow and let us know.
All right, hold on. We've got some good ones coming up. Porta potties. That's porta potty love. And you should have written porta potty love. Extra vote for the zombie runner. Okay, we got another one coming out. Look, BJ's very excited. He made the woo sound. Now, mind you, someone told me tonight it was the advice that when you cross the finish line, don't say woo, because if you're making the ooh sound, you look like don't shoot with your hands up. Instead, you're supposed to cross the finish line and say yeah, because that puts you in a smiley face.
Okay.
Did you know that? So no.
I did not know that.
Oh, yes, I know. I thought it was very thoughtful. All right, what's our next question? Rudy, give me a question.
Oh. Yeah.
I know.
Dun, 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 dun.
For those who are listening, we're going to stick with Run for Applause. What year did I start announcing the OC? We mentioned that twice.
Good one. Good one. Thank you.
You still got to think
I'm kind of brain dead right now.
Think of one anyways.
Okay.
Oh, you can't win it again, BJ. You've already won. Okay, but the next person, Carolina.
Here we go.
Run for the claws.
Run for our claws.
Run for a claws.
Run for our claws, yeah.
But look, what good listeners. All three of them nailed it. That was great.
That's
BJ, Carolina,
fantastic.
Philip, who's a superstar, and then BJ. Haha, sorry. That's okay.
Hey, Rudy, you've had enough time. What's your question, Rudy? Come on.
Okay, so I'll do a personal trivia. I was fortunate. In my running racing history, I was one of those people that went on a quest to break 3 hours in the marathon. And what? What was that? And I was very fortunate to do it twice. And I'd like to know, and it was a Big Sur Marathon. I'd like to know what year was the first time that I broke 3 hours.
What? Did you say?
What's wrong with that?
How do you want to know that?
They don't know. It's just guessing.
No. That's
Okay, then throw it away. Come up with something. I don't have trivia.
Come on, something.
No.
Who's buried in Grant's tomb? Come on, something better than what year did you? 2005.
Jeez, rough crowd. Rough crowd.
So this is going to be one of those stories. Remember that one day we had
So one time we had this show that was
great.
going along so well.
That's wonderful.
oh my God. 92.
Oh, now you're getting close.
No, we're getting further away.
All right. Now Rudy feels bad.
Yeah, I do. Thanks. Now we're little too early. The race hadn't been run yet, DeMarie.
All right.
Oh boy. So glad I used this one. This is great.
That's a bad choice. My goodness. We still love you mostly, but
Too far away, Beth. Too far away.
A
little closer, Lisa. Closer. Warmer. Further away. Further away.
What decade, Rudy?
Oh, geez. It starts with a 19. Let me put it that way.
All right. 19 something or other.
19 something or other. Oh, that's good. I do have dinner plans at 9 o'clock, so. Nice. That's got to be the one of the two of you. You guys are, very nice, Koehler.
Oh, that is
99 here.
Oh, there you go. 1999?
No.
It's a weird trivia question. I love it. I love it. 1980?
No. The race hadn't been run yet.
1946?
198 what? 1980 what? Oh, so glad. This will, I'm going to pay for this.
Flock of seagulls on your Walkman while you're running.
Right, exactly. On my cassette.
88?
Close. No, close.
83?
I think we have 3 listeners. 3 no, close.
9?
Nope.
Okay, lots of 89s and 88s.
Nope.
And he wears dolphin shorts.
Yes, I had dolphin shorts on at the time. No, Phil.
Oh, man. 89, 87. Getting closer, getting warmer. 86.
That's Beth. That's it.
86. Beth Kent.
Oh.
That was exciting. Oh, my
Man.
gosh. Now everybody's guessing it. All right. Beth gets it because she was first, but here they come. Man, I'm going to give extra credit points, just points to our audience because, yeah,
This should take what? What was that comment? Oh, whatever.
All right. Well,
We're going long here, Fitz.
Beth needs to just email us and we will get you the registration for 2022. Yeah.
So you're going to like this, Gary, because Beth, she's a raging Team Noisy fan, and she's coming from Fort Lauderdale to OC.
Oh, my gosh.
To run your race for the first time.
That
she'll be
is-
this year in November.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm
she's
so
cool.
glad.
Special person.
Well, then we'll have to maybe even up the ante a little bit and give her a little bit more love when she gets there.
A little extra love. You got some shirts hanging around. Beth is
Absolutely. That sounds fantastic.
the sweetest, most gushy, enthusiastic runner ever. And we're very grateful. And she parted my hair in Fargo. She followed me to Fargo, which I loved. And then because there was no rear view mirrors in the hotel and my hair is still tricky, she came into my hotel room and parted my hair down the middle twice in the back.
Okay, so now I'm
Man,
set.
that's a great story, Fitz.
The next trivia, I got it. Who parted Fitz Koehler's hair at the Fargo Marathon?
Okay.
There you go. Got it.
Okay.
All right, well,
I love you
guys,
all.
this was fun.
So fun. Zombie Guy, Doctor Who. We've had all sorts of great tales. And this is the kind of fun we have at the OC. So I can't wait. How many days do we have till we get there, Gary?
31, I think. I think 31 days is what our website says. And it depends on whether you're talking about Saturday or something. But yeah, we're right there. So we're a month out. We're super excited. We had our meetings today with Newport Beach and everyone's excited there. And we're checking off all the important boxes and it's going to happen. It's just after all this last year, we're just ready to put on the best race possible.
It's going to be awesome. Everyone point down to the left corner. Your left corner, Rudy. Your left corner. Left. Mary left. OC, marathon.com. We still have spots for registration. You can do the 5K, the half, or both. That's the combo crush. You get a third medal. And you get to see us more often, which is great.
Fitz, discount code?
If they message me at Fitzness anywhere on social media, I will send them a discount code. You got a message.
There you go. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
all right. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. That was fun.
Okay, but wait. There's one more thing. There is one more thing. On behalf of the OC and races all over the country, we wish Fitz Koehler an absolutely amazing race. And she does the Boston Marathon coming up next week. And can't wait to follow you and watch your progress. We know you're going to kill it. You go, Fitz.
Thank you. Super excited.
All right.
Proudish.
Can't wait.
Okay. Love you all.
Love you guys. All right. Bye.